My name is Paul Finn, and I've invited everyone here today to come and talk to two guys who know a little bit about the industry. If you've got a question, it doesn't matter if you're a bedroom musician who's looking for a bit of inspiration to step up onto stage at an open mic night, for example, or if you're someone who wants to go touring all around the world. So don't feel ashamed by the question. That's not what it's about. Everyone here is on equal terms, and we're all here to talk about the music industry. Please make these two guys feel very welcome.
Optimism is one of the key things for any musician or any entrepreneur or anyone. Sort of just to selectively, you go, oh, okay, so, music's going the way of things are going to be free. Okay, so what's the way forward here? And just don't even have that conversation of, oh, this would have been great if people weren't downloading it for free. You just need that selective kind of, I always think about it like going snowboarding through trees. You just don't want to look at the trees or you'll hit them. You've got to find the gaps. And that's what I've tried to do my whole career, is just try and find those gaps and just like, yeah. Well, I was sort of lucky because that's how I started anyway, and that's what I was doing, and then just supplementing it with exactly what I do now, just selling CDs at the actual gig. So it was a very grassroots thing. And I think if you are mainly a live performance person, or that's a big part of what you do, it's great because there's your marketing, there's your grassroots marketing, and no one, it just feels like no one can stop you. You get a gig, you can go, you see guys killing it, busking, just making squadillions.
Wait till I bring out a $5 coin, Ash.
It's a constantly evolving thing, but it is funny, and when we're talking about the internet and stuff like that and new technology, to me, there's some things that are even more grassroots than that have been so enabling, and it's technology, but it's how cheaply you can make a really good quality recording now is just unthinkable. I mean, that was unthinkable when I started, between 15 years ago. That's just when you're using Pro Tools and whatever a little bit, and it's just starting to come in. But before that, there would have been no option. And I'm always very aware that I don't think I might not have had a career, but if it was up to me to be signed by a label, because the things I've done have never really been that popular. But it's just like over time, I've worn the audience down with legwork, But that's the grassroots things can never be taken away from you. I think they're slower to come. The success is slower to come, and I'm banking on the fact that it'll be slower to diminish as well, because you have a real connection. Just you saying, oh, I saw you at Gympie. I was like, oh yeah, cool, blah blah, and it's like we have a connection over that. And then with you go around Australia, around the world or whatever, and you're like, oh yeah, that gig where the guy fell over, and blah blah. Still, the most important thing is that you're making new, original, well-crafted songs, I reckon.
If I could just back that up, I agree with Ash 100%. It's a line I've heard used a lot, I've used myself a lot, but no matter what, no matter technology or anything else, it all starts with a great song. And a great song always will be. And I love hearing great songs covered on lots of different ways by lots of different people, and different ones engage with me more, but the essence of it is the great songs. Musicians often need music videos, or these days visual content for their website. And other people that are great at making vision, guess what? They need music. So there's an instant connection. Then there are other people that might have real talents in areas like publicity and marketing that want a real-world case study. Universities are a good example. I do a bit of work with RMIT University. Universities far more these days are looking for their students to have an opportunity to work on real world projects. So marketing your album or your concert. But even more broadly, we until recently run, with the support of the Victorian Government, a music mentorship program in Victoria called Freezer Central. And it covers a lot of disciplines, not just performance, and it's career pathways. After the first year of running it, we got everyone together, we asked them, what did you get out of it? The biggest thing that was uncovered that we hadn't anticipated was the networking. Just connecting with other like-minded, motivated people, and potentially, through that, finding ways where you can trade in this intangible commodity called your music.
There's a really good initiative from Kim over here. She started what's called Northern Lights, and what she did, I don't know if the application was successful or not. No? Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyways, the point is it's actually quite good. What she did, for us up here to get into a festival like Woodfit, most of us are relatively unknown. That's quite a big leap. That's quite a difficult step to achieve. So what Kim did is she got a bunch of different artists from Townsville and came up with the idea calling it Northern Lights, where they would all go on stage together and would all kind of do their own thing on stage, but they would be able to perform at Woodfit to at least just get that first step in the door. So that's an example of collaboration, and I think that's going to become, well, if it happens up here a bit more, I think it'll become something very strong. So my advice on that would be to work with other musicians and try to get in that way. But the other example, one of my favourite examples, is of Ash getting into blues and roots, which took him 5 years or something. Yeah. So keep doing it. Like, Ash was telling me that, like, for him, applying for blues and roots is just like, oh, it's that time of year again. Do my application, send it off. And, you know, don't think about the rejection coming back. I just got my return from Woodford saying I'm successful. You know, big deal. Like, shoot them an email. See you next year.
So that's like 1 point. I think I was saying, was I sending it to you or someone else? That's like 1 point to you. But you should count on, like, you go, oh, great, first door slammed in my face. Cool. I've only got 9 more, and then I'll probably get in, you know, whatever. But talking about that sort of positive optimism, I think that's definitely required. And actually, if you don't have that, but you want to be a professional muso, just, it's not going to work at all.
So Ash,
it won't happen any other way.
Would you like to collaborate a song with me later?
We'll have a talk about it later, dude. I'm not talking over the mic.
Could I just add something? And sorry, I know you've been trying to get the question in. Something Ash touched on just made me think of this. I want to make this point. An absolutely amazing musician and also music educator. Guys have been the front man of Bushwhackers for 40 years, called Dave Newton. I'm privileged to work with Dave, amazing man. Dave's done some workshops with me, talking to independent musicians like yourselves, and one line he came out with which is brilliant. He said, just think of yourselves all as a small business, because you are. Now, a lot of the boring part of your business that you probably don't want to know about, because making the music and performing it, that's the fun part, I know that. But all the other boring, mundane stuff, sometimes actually really important. And in the instance here, how many of you have filled out a form, lots of forms, to try and apply for state, federal or local council funding for what you do? Now, that's about 10% of the room. In Victoria, same thing, it's all over the place. It ain't cool if you're a musician to fill out forms. I know it's like doing your tax. But there's money there. There are funds there that are available for cultural and artistic. There's bullshit forms to fill out. I know bands that pay third parties to do it for them. But that boring, mundane stuff of filling out paperwork can get you money.
If there's live music in a venue, APRA basically collects a fee from that venue to have live music. That money is then put into like a kitty, if you like, and you say, I played this gig, I played 5 songs, I played this gig, and I played 10 songs. You go to them and then you collect your permission, yeah, whatever it is for that. it's only a small amount, but if you've done a lot of gigs, it all adds up.
It adds up, yeah. I've always been shocked at that. It really helped me when I was starting out. I was like, I can't believe this. But I'm sure a guy got paid for busking, because that's how I got onto it.
Oh, right. Well,
I don't know, maybe he was making it up or something.
does anyone actually know if that's
If
right?
it's in a mall, like you have to actually apply.
Okay, yeah, because they'd be paying a licensing fee, you're right. As long as there's a money trail.
Yeah.
But just that whole thing, APRA again is an example. They're a great organisation, they really are. I'm a real rap for them. There will be an APRA representative, whether it's for Townsville or for Northern Queensland, and they're worth talking to. If you're a songwriter, they're just worth talking to. And then, whether it's through APRA or through, again, just your own networking here, if there's a number of people here that are songwriters and you've never tried collaborating, get in touch with some other songwriters. If you do, one thing though, very important, agree as you're doing it on the share of the copyright. There's a few friendships and a few bands have
I reckon
fallen on hard times disputing.
Yeah, that is. It always makes me nervous, and I hated doing that with Pip actually. After we finished all the work, and it's like, oh yeah, sling me 10% on that. Why do I need to sling you? I wrote all the lyrics, motherfucker. And we're good buddies. We're good buddies. But one good one is to go. I don't care. Just go 50-50. Let's go from the start. You say that at the start. And come what may, then you just make the best song. You're not trying to get your extra little chorus in there. I was doing supports for Missy Higgins and James Brown and all this kind of stuff, and turning up by myself, no sound guy, all my merch in a big long bag with all my other things. And I've been touring around with other bands that had entourages and just like so many different things. But I waited for ages because I've always had that sort of tradie style work ethic of I don't need all that shit. I'm doing it all myself. But then once you get going and you can justify it, you're like, oh well, it's only another 150 for that. Let's do that or whatever. But I never did any of that stuff until I could kind of afford it. Because I was always trying to make a living from it, so...
When did you quit? Like, did you ever have another day job, and then when you started to make money out of music, you had to make a decision, like, I'm going to let everything else go?
Yeah, I did it in a way when I kept myself too busy all the time. So I was working a couple of days a week, and then I'd go back to less time. And I was actually working as a school teacher, and I'd go like, point A, point whatever I'd just... Every term would finish and I'd lob off another day until I was like doing 1 day a week, and it was really pointless. But yeah, I always tried to keep myself sort of on that too busy rather than just like, oh yeah, I'm becoming a pro muso and then just like, have no money